Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. I just had 3 cubic yards of topsoil dropped, compost, and double shredded hardwood mulch. I'll talk about that in a second, how I'm going to use it in my garden and some recommendations of how you may want to use it. This is pressure treated wood. I wanted to get rid of the myth that pressure treated wood is harmful to you or to your garden. Before I get to that, of course you can see it's snowing. I've had the dead trees or dying trees cut down. This is going to let more light go into my garden across the way to the right of that shed there. But of course I'm waiting for the snow to end and for spring to come. When it gets here, I've already ordered my pressure treated lumber. Now, 20 years ago, pressure treated lumber was pressure treated, give or take years, with arsenic. Arsenic was a concern because it's a poison. You didn't want that leaching into your root zone or around your plants. It's not like that anymore. So it's been sort of a leftover myth that pressure treated wood is bad for you and bad for your garden. It's not. You can see the green color right in there. It's pressure treated now with copper. Yes, a little bit could leach into your soil, but nothing that's going to harm you or your plants or anything to be worried about. Copper is used in dust form, in spray form. The Bordeaux spray that was used for managing diseases, I believe, on grapes that came out of France, had copper in it. Copper is considered organic in many treatments. So pressure treated wood, in my opinion, research it if you like, is 100% safe for you. This wood would last 8 to 10 years. It's cost effective, it doesn't cost that much, and this will last over a nice span of time if you're building your raised beds. So I'm going to be making raised beds out of this wood. I'm also going to be making a potting station. But again, you can see the green in there. It's not arsenic anymore, it's copper treated. And even if a little bit of copper leaches out, it's not going to go into your plants and then into your body and cause problems. What I do recommend is don't burn your lumber, your pressure treated lumber, after it rots away. Just have it, taken out to a dump. So we're going to start with double shredded hardwood mulch. This is what I recommend using on top of your containers to keep moisture in, and using in your raised beds to keep weeds down, keep moisture in, and create a disease splash barrier so dirt doesn't splash up onto the undersides of your plant. I always recommend the shredded hardwood. It locks together, rains don't wash it away, and it decays pretty quickly. So while this is sitting on top of your soil, it'll start breaking down. Earthworms and stuff will pull it into the root system area of your plants. Now, there is a myth saying you can't use hardwood, you can't use wood chips in your garden because it's going to steal nitrogen from your plants and cause harm. That's only true if you mix this into the depth of your soil, like a foot into the soil where the root zone is actually mixed in with your dirt and with shredded hardwood or wood chips. Wood chips, shredded hardwood on top of the soil is perfectly fine. This also is 3 cubic yards. I recommend that you, if you're using a lot of these products, have them delivered. It's kind of pricey because you're doing it all at once, but this is a lot cheaper than buying the bags and bringing them to your house. So we've got 3 cubic yards of shredded hardwood, and I just wanted to put the clay pot in there to give you an idea of the size of how much you may want to order. It's really hard to figure out what a cubic yard is. So, and when you order the bulk, when you order to have a truckload come in, you're gonna have to order by cubic yards. So 1/3 of that pile is a cubic yard. And these are all 3 cubic yards. Now this is my compost. This is leaf grow basically, which is wood chips and leaves. There's no animal product in there. One tip I have, when you're buying compost, a lot of times it should be called composting, not compost, or not composted. It's still in the process. So you want to make sure the compost products you're buying are fully composted. And the reason being, and more so with the cow manures, horse manures, animal manures, if they're not fully composted down to where they stop breaking down, they've completely gone through from 0, never composted, to 100% fully composted. You put them into your garden, put too much in, mix it into your soil, the compost you're putting in there is going to continue to break down. The microbes are going to try and break down the compost you put in, and in order to do that, they pull nitrogen from the surrounding area, from the plants that you're putting in there, around the roots of your plants, and your plants may look yellow. So when you put compost into your garden, again, I can't stress it enough, make sure you know how well it's been composted down to the point that it's not going to break down anymore, and it's only going to give back to your plants. And if you're not sure, you just may have to use a little bit more nitrogen when you're doing the planting this year so that your compost continues to break down, your plants get enough nitrogen, and then later on in the season, your garden will be great because you'll have all that compost in there. Again, this is wood and leaf compost. It's a little bit more forgiving with taking nitrogen if it's not fully composted down. I like using this because it gives back to your plants, but it also retains a lot of water. And that's something that you want with your container mixes and when you're setting your raised beds up. You want moisture to stay nice and even in your containers and raised beds. And this is just your plain old topsoil. Again, 3 cubic yards of all the products. And the compost, you might notice, doesn't have a lot of snow in it because it's still breaking down. It's warm. When your compost breaks down, sometimes you see steam and all that coming out. You want to make sure you get sifted topsoil if you're going to order it. It's not the best quality, but that's going to be mixed with my raised beds along with the compost, and then shredded hardwood is good to go on top. When I make my container mixes, it's going to be about 1/3 compost, 1/3 topsoil, and then 1/3 peat moss. The peat moss has no nutritional value, but it's going to hold a lot of water, and that combination of peat moss, compost, and topsoil makes a great container mix, and it's really, really inexpensive. So let me just step back and just show you again. 3 cubic yards. Clay pots give you a visual, a little bit of the size of that. Here's a couple of hand tools. There's a shovel right there, hand shovel. So it'll give you a perspective to know what you might want to order. 3 cubic yards. If you just need a cubic yard, it'd be 1/3 of that. All right, so it's an exciting time. Snow's still falling, but I got my materials coming in. I'm going to start building things tomorrow. My fence is coming into the front of the house tomorrow also, and hopefully the garden fence gets built over the next 10 days. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out my seed shop at www.therustedgarden.com. And I'm also going to be doing a video this weekend using the materials I just showed you on how you really set up Brussels sprouts and kale to grow in 5-gallon containers. I'm going to do a lot of container gardening this year. So please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.